Hi fellow rockhounders, welcome back to the channel. In the first couple episodes of this series, we looked at how to use MNDAT in order to find a potential spot to go rockhounding. And then we looked at using Clupa to see if we could determine whether or not it was crown land, private land, or there was other restrictions. Today we're going to look at the MLAS system, and it's equally valuable in determining whether or not we can go there. Early on I made the mistake. I went online, used MNDAT, found River Valley Garnet Mine. The pictures of those garnets were just incredible. I went on Clupa, it was crown land, saw no problem with going there. I watched a couple videos and one person suggested that there was a potential that rockhounders were not going to be allowed to go into the site in the future. So I packed up my camera and went and made a video of collecting some awesome garnets. After posting, the abuse started to roll in. Everyone kept saying I wasn't allowed to go there, but they weren't explaining why. There was other people saying it was crown land, of course you can go there. It wasn't until further down in the comments that someone finally posted a link to MLAS, and specifically to the River Valley Garnet Mine section. Here I learned a lot of information very quickly. So, how do we determine if there's a claim on the land? That's where MLAS comes in. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use the MLAS system to find out if there's a claim on the site, how to contact the person to get permission if there is, and really just how to avoid any mistakes that might get us into trouble in the future. All right, let's jump right into the screen and I'll show you how to use the MLAS system. All right, step number one. Let's see if we can figure out where to find the map viewer. As we come into the home page, you'll notice there really aren't a lot of tabs available for us. And these hyperlinks here in the top 10 really aren't going to take us where we need to go. So the first thing that we need to do is to scroll down to this overview section. This is one of the things that makes the system a little bit complicated when you first come in and a little bit tricky to navigate. Things aren't exactly where you expect them. There are two tabs here. This hyperlink takes us right into the main site. This is where you would go if you register or are registered, and it would take you to a homepage that looks a little bit different than where we're going to end up. I'll show you a quick little screenshot of what that would look like. If you notice here on the left-hand side, there's a section called Map Viewer. So if you logged in this way, that's where you would go for this next section of the tutorial. Let's head back out to the overview section. All right, down here at the bottom, you'll see a hyperlink to the MLAS Map Viewer. And that's where we are going to go. And quite honestly, whether we go in as a registered user or into this hyperlink, this is the section we'll probably use the most as we come into the MLAS. Step number two, how do we use the map viewer to find a location on the map? The first way, if we know the exact location, we can just zoom right in. So let's zoom right into my claim again, and we can go in that way. If we're having difficulty finding it by just zooming in on the map, and we know where it is, we can use the decimal degrees again, just like we did on Clupa, to find the location. It's a little bit more difficult to find. It's up here under map information. I would have assumed the first time I went in, it would be under navigation, but it is not. So we go to map information and we click on find location. That icon is the same as Clupa. And then we go down and we go to the latitude and longitude. So let's go ahead and hit the search bar. So it took us to the exact same spot. We now have a nice little red arrow indicating where the spot is. Step number three, let's go ahead and start learning what some of these colors mean. We'll open up the legend section. You'll notice that the cell that my claim is on is this lovely green color. Believe it or not, that matches up with this green color over here on the side. This indicates that we have a mining claim in the area. The next thing we need to look at is the color of the box around the cell. So in this case, it's this red color over here on the side, meaning that it is unavailable to secure the claim on this site. To figure out why, we could go into this I want to section. It becomes a little bit more intuitive here. So we go and find data on the map, and we'll use this repeatedly. So draw a little box inside of the cell, and we'll see that there's a mining claim on this location. And because there's an active mining claim, that is why this section is unavailable. Let's head back and look at some of the colors around that claim. So below that, we'll see we also have that same green color, but this time the box is surrounded by this greenish color. This indicates that it is available. We can do the same thing to find out a little information. I want to find data on the map, draw a little box inside. As long as the box is smaller than the cell, you'll get information from the one cell. So for this cell, if we had a desire to put this under claim, what we're looking for here is we're looking for the provincial grid cell. That'll give us the information we need to go back in as a registered user and put a claim in on this piece of property. Next, let's have a look at the purple. We have quite a bit of that surrounding the claim as well. Let's scroll down on our legend. We'll see this falls under the land tenure section, and here either the mining rights or the mining and surface rights have been deeded by the Crown to an individual or a company. To find out a little bit more, we'll click on the I want to, find data on the map. This gives us a lot of information right here. Just a simple heading, 2 non-mining land tenures. There are 2 of them running through this section, one here and then this great big corridor that's running up through here. I'm not sure what the corridor is, but this section here most likely was deeded a long time ago to someone who settled that piece of property. You see it's right off of a road. What that means for us is we can't rockhound on these parcels of land unless we find out who lives there or who holds the land tenure and get permission from them to go onto the property. We can't, unfortunately, do that from MLAS. You would have to go to one of the local municipalities and do a land search and ask them how to do that. All right, let's scroll out a little bit so we get a few more colors here. Here's a few over here on the side. Let's scroll down. I think those are at the very bottom. Yeah, these indicate that we have conservation reserves, national parks, or provincial parks in those areas. I'm pretty sure most of the provincial park, national parks, and conservation reserves are set up as non-collecting for rockhounders. There may be an exception or two. If you believe you know of one of those exceptions, please make sure you contact the park office to make sure before you go there. Let's scroll out a little bit more. Let's head over to the greater Sudbury area. I've spent a lot of time up in this direction. Here's another color you'll find quite a bit on the map. So we have 2 different colors of orange on the map. The one down here is for the Indian Reserve. These are reserve lands for our First Nations people. And the other one will scroll up in the legend, and that land has been withdrawn from the MLAS claim system, meaning we can't register a claim there, and we shouldn't be going on there and rockhounding as well. Step number 4, we've identified a spot and there is a claim on that spot. How do we go about contacting the claim owner so that we can get permission to go and visit the site, do a little bit of rockhounding? Let's again use my cell up here. There is some personal information that will come up, and I'll blot out a little bit of it, but anyone who goes on the site will has access to this personal information, so that you can contact the different mine holders. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper here in the I want to. So we'll again find that on the map, select the cell. This time let's go right into the mining claim. We see the number up here. Let's click on this little arrow up here. This will give us some more information. Talks about when the claim was registered, when it's coming due, etc. What we want is back up at the top, the very first hyperlink. It's called Claim Abstract. So as we click that, we find out a little bit more about the site. It'd be really if it had a legacy claim abstract, but this one doesn't. Here's our cell IDs again for registering. And we learn down here at the bottom who the recorded holder of the claim is. And then over here on the right is an important little hyperlink as well, the client number. If we click on the client number, this is where the contact information is going to come up. So here we get to find out the name of the person, the mailing address, the phone numbers, and email addresses. So there's lots of information available on here to help us to contact the person who has the claim and to get permission before we go on there. The next video in the series, we're going to look at my favorite site, which is Geology Ontario. I use this probably more than any other site in preparing for the upcoming rockhounding season. My favorite is the list of different abandoned mine sites scattered throughout Ontario. You can see from the screenshot that I put up of the Sudbury area, here there's literally hundreds and hundreds of abandoned mines that we can have a look at. When we click on one of the markers, it gives us valuable information to help us out. What minerals they were searching for there, if there are open hazards like adits and pits and trenches, or even just good rock piles to search through. The last bit of information to give us, which is really important, is the location. We still need to go on Clupa and MLAS to verify and make sure that we can go there. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel. Also, if there's a specific topic that you'd like to see a video on, drop a line in the comments below. I do read them. And as always, I hope you get the chance to get out there and get dirty real soon. Let's get dirty.